character fa in the Chinese language is a very interesting and useful character. It crops up a lot. Today we want to take a deep dive into the way of the fa. 欢迎大家到破解中文，我是宇鹏。今天我们要学习法这个字的一些用法，所以让我们来开始吧。Let's get cracking. So just to set the scene, fa has a few different uses. It's used in words that have legal connotations or are to do with law. It has a few Buddhist meanings. And then it is used for the word for France and French, a few French-related words. But today we want to focus in on its meaning as way or method. So a word of warning, this is a pretty long list. I think we're going to go through 24 different uses of the character fa. So first up on our list, we have fang fa. Fang can mean direction. So this is kind of the way of the direction, or it translates as method. So you can say 我喜欢这个方法. I like this method. Or you could ask 你用什么方法来学习中文呢? What method do you use to study Chinese? Next we have 做法. 做 means to do or to make. So 做法 is a way of doing something or a course of action. So you could say 我不觉得这个做法会成功. I don't think this course of action or this way of doing something will be successful. Or you could say 我们建议这种做法. We recommend this course of action. Next we have a pretty cool one. It's 办法. 办法 turns up a lot in Chinese. It means means, measure, or solution. You'll often hear 对不起，没办法. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. Or you could say something like 你可不可以帮我们找一个办法呢? Can you help us find a solution? Next we have 用法. 用 means to use, so 用法 is a way of using something. We used it at the beginning of the video when we said we were going to talk about 法这个字的用法. We were going to talk about the usage of the character 法. So you can say 你可以给我们解释这个单词的用法呢? Can you explain how we can use or the usage of this word? Or you could say 这个软件的用法很复杂. This software is extremely complicated to use. And then next we have 无法. 无法 means there is no way. So it means to be unable or incapable of doing something. So you could say 他们无法达成协议. They were unable to reach an agreement. So I've tried to group these fas by category, and that concludes our first category, which is kind of the general usage or fa when it refers to a way of doing something. Now we move on to the next category, which is viewpoints. So first up, we've got 想法. 想法 means viewpoint, means way of thinking. So it means an idea, an opinion, or view. So you could say 你对这个有什么想法? What's your viewpoint regarding this? Or you could say 这个想法很好. This is a really good idea. Or 我同意你的想法. I agree with your idea or your opinion. So next up we have a very closely related word, which is 看法. So while 想法 refers to the way of thinking about something, 看法 refers to the way of looking or viewing something. So 看法 means view or viewpoint. So a very similar word. You could say 他的看法太奇怪了. His viewpoint is so strange. Or 我不赞同他的看法. I don't approve of her view or opinion. So moving on to our third category, these words are all to do with speaking and writing. So first up, we've got 说法. So 说 means to speak. So 说法 is a way of speaking. And it can mean that, a way of speaking. You know, it can also mean like a wording or a version, like a version of events or a statement. So you could say 这个说法不对. That's not true, or that's a false statement. Or you could say 对这件事情每一个人有自己的说法. So regarding this event, this situation, everybody's got their own version. And we've got 写法. So 写 means to write. So 写法 means a way of writing or a writing style. It can also mean spelling, and it can also mean the way that you would write a certain Chinese character. And we've got 语法, which you probably know is grammar. It literally means the way of the language. A little less common, you've got 句法. 句 means sentence, so 句法 means the way of the sentence or sentence structure or syntax. So to conclude this section on speaking and writing, we've got 书法. 书 is the word for book, and 书法 means calligraphy or handwriting. So our next section is all to do with mathematics. So first up, we've got 算法. 算 can mean to calculate, so 算法 is the way of calculating. More commonly, it can mean algorithm or it can mean arithmetic, so the way of calculating a maths problem. And then you've got 加法, which is addition. You've got 减法, which is subtraction. We've got 乘法, which is multiplication. And we've got 除法, which is division. So our final section is a bit of a random collection, really. First up, we've got 手法. 手 is hand, so the way of the hand means a skill or a technique, and it can also have a negative connotation of a tactic or a trick. 手法. Then we've got 魔法. 魔 is from 魔鬼, which is the word for devil, so it's the way of the devil. It means magic or sorcery. 魔法. We've got 兵法. 兵 means soldier or army or war. So 兵法 is the way of war or the art of war, warcraft. And then you've got 孙子兵法, which is the famous book by Sun Tzu called The Art of War. 兵法. And we've got 剑法. 剑 means sword. So 剑法 means the way of the sword or sword play or fencing. Then we've got 拳法. 拳 means fist. So 拳法 is the way of the fist. So it means fighting technique or boxing. 拳法. Then we've got 步法. 步 means step. So 步法 means the way of the step, step work or footwork, like in some kind of sport or dancing. 步法. You can even have 吃法, which is a way of eating. And then lastly, we've got 疗法. 疗 means to treat or cure. So 疗法 is the way of treating, which is the treatment or the therapy. 疗法. So I warned you, didn't I? That's a pretty long list. I think we went through 24 ways of how to use the character 法. And there are many more. In fact, I probably missed some of the common ones. If I did, please let us know down in the comments below. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. 谢谢大家，再见，加油！